After 15 months of brutal conflict, a fragile ceasefire has brought a glimmer of hope to the war-torn Gaza Strip. The agreement, brokered by international mediators, includes a prisoner exchange between Israel and Hamas, the militant group that controls Gaza. This fragile truce marks a pivotal moment in the long and bloody conflict, offering a chance for peace that both sides desperately need. The road ahead remains uncertain, but the ceasefire offers a glimmer of hope for a better future. The ceasefire agreement, reached after marathon negotiations, represents a significant step towards ending the violence that has plagued the region for decades. The agreement includes provisions for the release of both Israeli and Palestinian prisoners, a key demand of both sides. It also calls for an easing of the Israeli blockade on Gaza, which has crippled the territory's economy and created a humanitarian crisis. While the ceasefire is a welcome development, it is only the first step on a long and difficult road to peace. Deep mistrust and animosity between Israel and Hamas remain, and the underlying issues that sparked the conflict remain unresolved. The international community must now work to ensure that the ceasefire holds and that both sides abide by their commitments. The coming days and weeks will be crucial. The success of the ceasefire will depend on the willingness of both sides to show restraint and to engage in good faith negotiations. It will also require the active support of the international community, both in providing humanitarian assistance to Gaza and in working to address the root causes of the conflict. The ceasefire agreement included a deeply emotional prisoner exchange, with 4 young Israeli soldiers returning home after months in captivity. Karina Ariev, Daniela Gilboa, Nama Levy, and Liri Albag were captured by Hamas militants on October 7, 2023, during a cross-border raid. Their release has been met with jubilation in Israel, where their plight has captivated the nation. The 4 soldiers were handed over to the Red Cross at a border crossing in Gaza City. They were then flown by helicopter to Beilinson Hospital near Tel Aviv, where they were reunited with their families. The emotional scenes of the soldiers embracing their loved ones were broadcast live on Israeli television, bringing tears to the eyes of many. The soldiers' release is a major victory for the Israeli government, which has been under intense public pressure to secure their freedom. It is also a testament to the effectiveness of the Israeli military, which has been working tirelessly behind the scenes to negotiate their release. However, the joy in Israel is tempered by the knowledge that many other families are still waiting for the return of their loved ones. Hundreds of Israelis are still being held captive by Hamas, and their fate remains unknown. The Israeli government has vowed to continue working for their release. As part of the ceasefire agreement, Israel agreed to release 70 Palestinian prisoners, a move that has been welcomed by Hamas and its supporters. The prisoners were transferred from Israeli jails to the West Bank and Gaza Strip, where they were greeted as heroes. Their release is seen as a significant concession by Israel and a sign that the government is serious about pursuing peace. However, the prisoner release has also been met with anger and frustration by some Israelis, who believe that it rewards terrorism. They argue that releasing prisoners will only encourage Hamas to take more hostages in the future. The release of the Palestinian prisoners is a complex and sensitive issue. It is important to remember that many of these prisoners were convicted of serious crimes, including murder and terrorism. However, it is also important to recognize that they are human beings who have families and loved ones. The prisoner exchange is a reminder of the human cost of the conflict. It is a reminder that there are victims on both sides and that there can be no lasting peace without forgiveness and reconciliation. The ceasefire agreement and prisoner exchange are positive steps, but they are only the beginning of a long and difficult journey towards lasting peace. The root causes of the conflict, including the Israeli occupation of Palestinian territories and the lack of a just solution for Palestinian refugees, remain unaddressed. The international community has a vital role to play in supporting the peace process. This includes providing economic assistance to Gaza, which is facing a humanitarian crisis after years of conflict and blockade. It also means pressuring both sides to make the compromises necessary for peace. The road ahead will be challenging, but the alternative is unthinkable. Another round of fighting would be catastrophic for both Israelis and Palestinians. The international community must do everything in its power to ensure that this fragile ceasefire holds, and that the two sides can finally find a path to peace.